About the ghost? I never met the ghost, but a person did kill themselves here. Sorry to say. Yeah. Young student, young person.
It was a film shooting in Studio 8. It was class. But like before the day before shooting day, I have to check out everything. So I want to take a picture to make sure that. So I went up the stairs and took picture from the same directions. I want to make sure every direction is well. So I took pictures. But these two pictures very weird because I took them at the same time, right away, cut, right away. But the second one have this weird spot there. But it's kind of because it shouldn't be there, the spot shouldn't be there. It should be exactly the same as the first one. I feel something wrong. And every time I went to the Studio 8, I feel uncomfortable. I like to ask someone to be with me to the Studio 8.
So it was about last year around this time, so about March. We were shooting a film here in Studio 8. When we were shooting a scene for the film, we were on the staircase, or I was on the staircase, and another student was on the mezzanine level. And they were unplugging a cable, and as I was standing there, this light bulb just fell from the ceiling and landed right in front of me on the staircase. So I was shocked, I was like, whoa, like I thought someone threw something at me, or but it fell directly from above my head from the ceiling. And there was no lighting fixture where that would have come from. So it just kind of fell out of nowhere. And we all kind of looked at each other and were like, oh. We tried to justify it from something like it came from the installation room window, but the window was closed, so we said, oh, probably didn't come from there. So we just kept thinking about it, like why that happened and where a light bulb just fell out of the sky. And then we found out about the incident that happened here.
Set those boundaries. See now. Okay, focus. I'm gonna back it up. All right, so you ready to go?
More than ready.
All right, here we go. And remember, you just keep it moving. All right, okay. You move forward. You talk about the orangopoid. All right, action.
Oh, who the hell invited that hairy heckler? I went so stoned I pulled his friggin'...
About the ghost? I never met the ghost, but a person did kill themselves here. Maybe about 15, 16 years ago. I came in one morning, a little early, like 5 to 9, to set up the chairs for the class. And there was a dummy hanging in the room. It was hanging over there from the scaffolding. And it was dressed, looked like a woman, because it had a dress on and it had one of the wigs that we have in the makeup room. And it also had sneakers on. No sneakers, sweat socks. And so the dummy was hanging there and I was moving the chairs around to set up the room, ignoring the dummy. Then it began to get on my nerves because I began to think, who put that dummy up there and was it some kind of a statement about me or my class? And so I went over to examine the dummy, and it had a horrible face and it had a stretched neck. It was hanging by the neck. And it was gray from the neck to the head, and then the blonde wig was on top. And then I happened to look at the hands, and I said, it's too realistic because there was hair coming out of the wrist, on the arm. And I looked at the feet and the legs, and there was hair coming out of the legs, and they looked kind of swollen a bit. And the toes were touching the ground like a ballet pose because the rope was long that it didn't really suspend the dummy completely off the floor. But then when I saw the hair coming out of the arm, I got scared. Suddenly something didn't seem right, and so I backed away. And at that time, a student who used to clean the room came in. And she said, "All right, George, what did you do now?" Because she spotted the dummy. And I said, "No, don't go in there, there's something wrong." And I said, "I think I better tell somebody." So I went out in the hall and I told the receptionist that there's something wrong in there. And she stuck her head in and she said, "I'm calling the police." And then the president of the school at that time heard about it, and he came in and he stood in front of it like it was an art piece and said, "No, I think it's real. I think it's a person." And then suddenly I recognized who it was. It was a student who had come in the class a week before. And in fact, I had his roommate that was enrolled in the class. And he came in and he did a scene, and he always looked like he needed milk, like he needed his mother's milk. He looked sort of undernourished that way. He was a bit on the, I don't know, sickly side. And I recognized who that was. And then the police came, the coroner came, the police came, and I explained, you know, I come in the room and the room was dark except somebody had left the record player on. We had a record player there at the time, and that was the thing glowing. The panel was glowing for the record player, and there was a light on in the makeup room. And the rest of the room was dark. There was something wrong. And then it was that dummy, and it turned out to be it was a student. But you know, Ryota, maybe he wasn't depressed because it was set up like a strange ritual. And I think the coroner figured out that it was some kind of thing. People sometimes get sex pleasure out of being strangled. You know, that kind of thing. You ever been with somebody and they say, "Choke me," romantically? And it may have been some kind of a ritual or something. And then, but I don't know. Or maybe they were possessed by somebody that was into that, you know what I mean? And because the chairs were set around, it looked like some kind of a strange solitary performance. And that's, I think, what the coroner said it was. And the person, the family, I don't think the family ever came. Two strange friends showed up like several weeks later just to see where it happened. And they wore sunglasses and they were paler than that guy who ended it all. But the mom and dad, I don't think if they did come, they didn't stay very long. I never met them. So. You know, I don't know. There's another ghost that haunts this place. I don't know what that person, how they terminated themselves or whether they just died of a natural cause here at the place. But this place is not immune to suicides. The Lord should kill you, and nature kills. So let them do their job. Thank you.